welcome back. I'm glad to see you today. Thought today we'd do a fantastic little painting. It's a lot of fun. I think you'll enjoy it.
I am an artist, please God forgive me. I am an artist, please don't revere me. I am an artist, please don't respect me. I am an artist, feel free to correct me. A self-centered artist, self-obsessed artist. I am an artist, but I'm just a kid. I'm just a kid, I'm just a kid, and maybe I'll grow out of it.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of the Pro Crastinators Podcast. We're back to talk about your favorite things one more time. I'm the best guy ever, Guy, and I'm here with my internet dudes. First up, Ben Saint.
SaintComics.com, baby.
Endless Jess.
Yabba Dabba Doo.
Lethal Aurora Mage.
I'm here. Hi.
And the Devu.
Hi.
And you'll probably notice if you've been watching that we've got a slightly different composition today of people, and we specifically requested Mage be here, and Ben too, because our topic for the day is fan art.
I have been derelict. I've been derelict in my procrastinator's duties, but I'm back on the wagon.
Mage, though. Though that was because I gave Mage some shit. But regardless...
You sure did.
But regardless, all is well in PCP land, and we're going to talk about this shit. So right, fan art. So what we want to talk about, or at least what I was planning on bringing up, was not really instructions on how to do it, but things that you should never ever do without my permission.
Well, okay, that's one thing.
The impetus for this was simply that. If the links in our description will bring you to the PCP Reddit in the bottom of the video. If you go there, Nice Fellow did a couple of PCP art pieces, a couple of fan art pieces.
He did.
And that just got us thinking about fan art in general. And so we thought we'd take some time, just break down what we like about it, what we don't, and, that kind of stuff.
All right, Guy. So
yeah.
There's many aspects of fan art that we can talk about here. There's the aspect that a bunch of us do, which is actually doing it, and then there's the aspect of getting it, which is a whole different...
is my exclusive side of that equation. So
right.
And first of all, the first thing I have to say is that it is downright disgraceful, people, that Best Guy Ever has gotten exactly one piece of fan art from Hypocrite, from Give and Take, and nobody else. So anyone watching this, stop right now. You're not allowed to watch any further unless you go draw me something, send it to me on Twitter, do whatever you got to do, and that's the end of it. So,
someone did make a meme out of you, though.
That's true. That was Hyperbit Hero, actually.
That's arguably fan art of a kind.
Actually, two people have done that sort of thing. I guess that counts. But I want the drawy people. And of course, Cotton Candy did my banner, but that was a commission, so that doesn't count. But
it's true.
In any case,
we drawy people are just more valuable than the rest of you.
Well, no, whatever.
It's a sad truth of life.
Jesse
what about
knows.
the draw I did for your video for free?
You mean, for T-Bap?
Yeah.
Well, of course, that was wonderful, but I just wouldn't count that as fan art because I asked you for
asking.
it.
Yep.
That's true. Mages, of
well,
course. Let's start with you,
asking
Mage.
people. You're asking people right now for fan art, so
no, I'm demanding. I'm putting a ultimatum. Do it, or I'll never do another video again.
Guy,
yeah.
I believe that your icon and banner and the face that you use. I mean, I did that for you, unprompted. I think. So I think that could just be fan art.
I suppose that would count.
You could call that ascended fan art. It was just fan art to begin with, but then although, I guess I kind of had the idea that you might use it for an icon when I made it, so...
But it doesn't really
did you
count
do
if
it
you're
entirely
related, so it's fam art.
I can't remember. You probably did. You probably did, actually.
I'm a fan of Guy, kind of.
True.
Very critical and
that's true. You're probably my most critical fan. I think you're the most critical fan I have, if you do in fact count, which is a good thing to have. But regardless of that, I want to ask you and Mage, I guess, or specifically Mage. I made sure Mage was here because she is by far the most prolific producer of fan art among our entire group.
I would say she's the most prolific producer of art. Period.
You think so?
Close to it.
Well, you're probably right, and so she's got the expertise that we need to really crack this nut. So
no pressure or anything.
Yeah. To crack this nut we call the real America.
Life.
Yeah. So Mage, you're doing a lot of Undertale art. Are you still doing that?
Are you still doing that? Yeah, I haven't heard from you in a while, so.
I've been busy playing a game, but yeah, I am gonna do some more. A secret project that's coming up that might be in a video. So.
Ooh, a secret project. That sounds sexy.
So would that be on your channel?
Yep.
Lethal Aurora Mage, cool. So what drives you, Mage? What's that core fire that burns in you that compels you to produce?
Specifically Undertale,
or whatever you're currently into.
Well, I am currently into Undertale.
I mean that in the grander sense. The thing at the time that you draw that you are currently interested in.
Gosh, inspiration. I mean, I know that's such a go-to answer, but like. There are some moments in the day when I just sit down and I was like, I feel like drawing today, and I don't stop until that feeling goes away. But I have to exploit that feeling because it's sometimes very rare, and it just like when you feel it, you have to do it because it's very fleeting, whatever the word
Sure,
is.
I know what you mean. But your art is very good, so I imagine it takes you a very long time to produce. I mean, does that like go away? Do you lose drive as you're going along?
Most art just kind of like it takes a few hours. I rarely like put a piece of art down and then come back to it the next day. Rarely. Sometimes it does happen, yeah, but usually I just kind of get in the zone, so to speak.
You gotta do it. You gotta do it in one shot, or else you might never come back to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. My favorite thing that you've done, I was just going to say, my favorite thing that you've done recently is your Muffet picture. That's totally awesome.
That's not that recent. That was like 3 months ago.
Well, it feels recent. I don't know. It was like her first Undertale art that I saw. I was just wondering how long that took you to do.
Probably a few hours. No, wait, actually...
Okay.
Now I lost my place.
How long Muffet took you?
Yeah. Okay, if you're counting the sketch that didn't happen, then it probably took me a few days because the original sketch was like a bit too complicated, and then it had like a perspective that was really hard to do, and I tried to change it, but then I just scrapped the sketch altogether, and then I made a new one, and there we go.
Okay, cool.
I can weigh in on this.
Yes,
subject.
please. Ben is definitely our second highest fan art guy.
I'm a very slow artist, and very often it takes me like a big piece that's complicated. I sometimes have to spend days on it because I'm just not fast enough or just not motivated enough in general to do it all in one go. But if the thing is coming out well, then that gives you more motivation to it. Like if you do something and it looks good, you're like, yes, that's great, and that like restores some of your energy, and you can keep going a little longer.
You know what's
like,
cool?
Your little successes build each other. But if it starts to look bad, then it's like, oh god, forget it. Like if something goes wrong, I don't want to do it anymore. Sure,
that's understandable. I was just going to say it's interesting that you guys work in sort of like I mean, like, a piece of art is, like, one image that you're just working on and, like, crafting to make as good as it can be. And just the way that you were saying that, like, when I'm making a video, I don't know, like, Digi, I don't think really does this. His impetus is to get the video done as fast as possible. But when I get to, like, a complex moment in a video, I'm sure Devu can relate to this, and Jesse, too, actually. It's like, I try to make that as good as it can be and, like, do all the little things I need to. Like a good moment for this is my in the Gurren Lagann video when I did the like, what was it, like the alternate version or like an interpretive version of the Spiral Nemesis where I did like guts with all the waifus. Like I made that part really good, and just like you, I felt a strong desire to keep going. But then I finished it, and then it was on to the next one, and I didn't care anymore. And it was like, well, now that fire is gone. Just my jealousy of the 2D medium. That's completely unrelated to this. Anyway.
Oh, shit. There was Wolfsrain.
Stray! Wolfsrain fucking rules.
It does.
It's got wolves, dude. I don't know. You guys want to talk any more about that, or should we shift into what we think about...
I want to say that when I make fan art, I don't do that much of it. But sometimes when something really fucking gets me on a deep level, and when I really love a piece of work, and I want to participate in its splendor in some way, and I want to like feel close to it in some way, and I don't know.
You fuck it is what you're saying.
Yeah, I want to fuck it. Basically.
I make videos. That's how I do that.
Honestly, it's not that different from like, oh, you like someone, you want to fuck them. Oh, I like this thing, I want to draw it.
Sure.
It's intimate. It gets me intimately knowledgeable with the inner workings of a thing, and once I've done it, I feel much closer to it
of their bodies.
Sure, I feel ya.
Like I loved Lisa so much. I was like, oh my god, this story is so
good,
touching or whatever.
Yeah,
the story is so emotionally resonant. I was like, I have to depict, the final epic scene. Or in Undertale, the fight against Toriel. I was like, oh my god, that moment is so beautiful. I have to capture it. I have to participate in it in some way. I have to depict it in my own way.
Yes, good. Yeah, that's cool.
It's almost like, right, okay. Now tell me, all right, if you really like something, I can't be the only one that if I really like something, I can get caught up just like thinking about it over and over and over again.
That's how fandoms start, I think.
Just like mentally dwelling on like this thing and how much I like it.
Oh yeah,
right?
all the time.
That's why I make a video, so I can tell people what I think, and then I can gradually go to other things.
Same.
Well, I mean, when you draw something, you gotta like think really hard about it, right? Mm-hmm. So like to draw a fan art of a thing, it's both an excuse to just like sit there and dwell on like how much you love something and just like think it really hard, like this thing.
Yeah.
But it's also an amplifier for it because it like you have to like focus on like, oh my god, this face. She's making this face. Oh, the tears are running down Toriel's face as like the hot fire burns around, but it doesn't hurt the fallen child because she's merciful.
That's pretty heavy stuff, dude.
And that's what it's like. That's what fan art is like, and that's why I do it.
What a good description.
With fan material in general, I'm much more drawn to works that expand on the context of the original or create new scenarios within the thing that are plausible but aren't shown or don't happen. When seeing Undertale stuff where someone makes a comic strip out of a scene that happens in the game, I'm like, okay, fine.
You're like, okay, I already saw this in the game.
Oh man, fuck you. I see what you're saying, but I personally am a much bigger fan of what Ben was saying of as a viewer of like people dramatically. I fucking love all of these incredibly dramatic depictions of fights in Undertale from like because Undertale's fights are so abstract. And to see them like rendered in any other form that's like even slightly realistic is like so cool. Like how epic was the fight between Frisk and Sans? Actually, it was all the fan art I've seen of it makes me love that fight more because I'm like, holy shit, this is so fucking rad.
I don't know.
See, good.
Wait, who are you agreeing with? Who are you agreeing with me?
In this case, she's agreeing with me.
All the scenes in Undertale were obviously written around the fact that they were going to be very minimalist. The more tools you have, the more detail you have, the different you're going to write it. And when it gets all drawn up, it's not as funny or as interesting to me when it gets all detailed and stuff.
I know it's not as good as the fight, of course, but it's a cool thing. It's a cool supplement. Like, again, it's kind of fan-arty because these things did not happen. Frisk floated around in a heart box for a while.
Cool supplements are not interesting to me.
Well, fuck you.
I mean, as an artist, it's like that feeling that I just described is what I get when I'm depicting something that's in the game actually. As a viewer, I'd probably be more interested in something that isn't in the game, like Davu was saying, some kind of like expansion of the lore, but that really comes with the risk of like if
dating Toriel, it's gonna happen, guys.
Shut up, man. But like that really comes with the risk of someone like overextending themselves and like interpreting it in some like, going overboard in like how far
there is nothing
being interpreted,
which
can be really annoying sometimes.
Yes, there is nothing on this earth I hate more than unrealistic fan interpretations of situations. It makes me want to wipe out the entire human race.
But did you guys
people
play
reading
Undertale?
Too much.
Did you guys play Undertale Red?
No,
what?
But I saw it on YouTube.
What is this? I have not heard of this.
Oh, you
really?
should play it. It's kind of cool.
It's really cool, and it's exactly what you were talking about, Davu. What it is a single fight. It's like a single theoretical fight from Undertale that takes place sometime around like the time you're in Waterfall.
It's a game. You play it. It's a game that you.
Yeah, but Yeah, it's a game, but it's
I'm just telling Devu.
one Undertale fight. But it's got like alternate paths for like if you're a good guy or a bad guy or genocide or whatever. And like the fight can play out in different ways, and it's a little like it's
cool.
hammy, and it's a little dumb that the character in it ends up having sort of like a kind of a relationship with one of the main characters who like talks about her a little bit like she knew her. That's a little cheesy. But it's still really great.
Like I have no problem.
Then again, though, in Undertale, like all characters, like a lot of characters seem to know each other a lot. Like they seem like a close-knit community.
That's true. It's a
true.
balancing act.
It's a small community.
You just have to balance how plausible it is with like how cheesy it is, with how cool it is, and like if those things are right and it's acceptable, then it's great. Then there's no problem.
But I look forward
if she was like the chosen one and she's like, I'm the actual true god of Undertale. You have to beat me for the real deal because I was hiding in the shadows the whole time. And she's if it was that'd be more annoying.
What I'm into is ambiguity and subtlety in fan material, stuff that isn't, this is where everything feels bad in this fan art that I'm making, because Undertale itself isn't always things feel bad right now, things feel happy right now.
Well, I always look for, the first thing that I look for in fan art is an interpretation of the work that is porn.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's entirely true. That's 100% accurate.
I'm way into pornography.
Hey, speaking of those sorts of things, you know what I think is a pretty good sort of fan art? The show Teen Titans Go.
I love that porn.
It's not porn. It really is a kind of fan art for the original Teen Titans, and I think like fan art, it can be polarizing sometimes. Like for example, like what fan art can do, which is cool, is expand, like Devu was saying, I think, expand on little things that the fans are all aware of, that maybe the community's aware of, but the show itself doesn't really address. Like for example, my favorite episode. Hang on. My favorite thing.
I don't think it's fan art's place to really expand on the original work.
Well, it's like the episode of Teen Titans Go where it's just an episode about how awesome Raven's legs are. That's the entire thesis of the entire episode. And like people who hate Teen Titans Go, which there are amazingly, those people exist. Okay, I don't get it.
And they see themselves as the vast majority, by the way.
I know I hate them all. I wish they were all dead.
They are scum.
To make like a big lampshade hang that thing and make a big episode that's a big funny take on it is cool. I really like that sort of thing. Fan art can do that.
That is not an expansion upon the original Teen Titans.
Yes, it is.
That is a parody of the original Teen Titans right there. Is what you're describing.
Well, it blurs the line. I mean, it is a show that's a sequel, but
it's not
I don't like read fan art and stuff and then go back to the original and go, oh, well, all those pictures I saw are now a part of this. It doesn't.
Yeah. But they are. They are in your mind. You can't do anything about it.
Almost none of that really changes my perspective of the original thing.
Look, I'm not saying that it's good to change your perspective. I'm saying it's cool when fan art can just make you think at the time of viewing that fan art, like, that's an interesting
definitely.
thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm into.
That's kind of what I'm saying that Teen Titans Go does.
Fan art has like the ability to make you like make certain characters more endearing. For instance, like in Undertale, Grillby, like he's just the bartender and he's like a flame man. Like, but I have seen like a lot of Grillby fan art, and just like the fan depictions of him has just made me like a huge fan of the character, even though he literally says nothing.
I agree, and especially when the fan art doesn't do anything to like depict him in a different way. It just kind of puts a spotlight on him and is like, look at this guy. He's a fire guy. He hangs out at the bar all day. He listens to everybody's problems. He's probably a chill dude, and we're depicting him as such. So then when you play the game again, you'll see him and you'll be like, this guy's pretty cool.
One of my
favorite... like, that flame schoolgirl who's like the green fire girl? She's probably Grillby's best friend or wife or daughter, I'm just making up things, but I like them.
You think all flame heads are related?
Yes, because I'm racist.
I can see that, and I can understand how like that kind of fan interpretation, if you like it and choose to embrace it.
Oh, listen to Ben condescend on everybody.
Shut up! It can give someone more like depth in your mind if you want it to. Personally, I feel much more comfortable keeping fan like interpretations like that separate, and I don't like to. I don't know. I don't like to think about them. I don't think it's really fair to like combine them with the original work. I really think they should be kept separate.
Well, but I mean, how do you do that? You can't stop people from making art, and I think as soon as you look at them, they're going to add to
I just don't think about it. Like I never thought about Vinyl and Octavia dating when I watched My Little Pony.
And
I think what's important is to like draw a line between your headcanon and what's canon. So like you can like headcanonize about a lot of stuff and have fun with it, but when you're watching the show or playing the game, you realize that like what you like is probably not true, but you can still enjoy
but these more dramatic depictions of Grillby or like the Sans fight, none of those are like deviating from canon really.
Well,
They're
there are
just
people who are dumb who see fan art and they go, well, this is canon now, and they actually believe it.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
that's a whole other angle. True.
Don't understand those people at all. Maybe this can transition into what I consider to be the big problem of fan art is the self-perpetuating cultures where people continue to go to make the fan art, not necessarily because of their original enjoyment of the work, but by the amount of attention and friendship they can get from continuing to create fan works, causing people to continue to dwell on the work way too much and get a little bit tired of it.
Well, I mean, that's an issue. That's an issue, and I think that definitely sort of happened with Undertale to the point where I got sick of it.
With most of that point, but then I got confused at the end.
Yeah,
I'm 100% on board with that point, Davo.
But isn't that just like what if people made no fan art but just talked about it too much and just posted pictures? It's like the same thing. It's not like a fan art problem. That's a community problem.
The thing that bothers me is that when these communities. When a thing explodes in fan works and a whole community comes around it, the fan art perpetuates itself, like Devu said, in a way where it turns into memes, and the memes turn into
dreams,
like people hopes and dreams.
Yes, that's right.
Okay, sorry.
It's the best song in Undertale, by the way. Hopes and dreams.
I disagree, but whatever.
Well, but anyways, what I'm saying is that there's memes that spring up in the fan art, and that turns into people's interpretation of canon. So you have stuff like, there's like 50,000 different comics of Sans crying like a fucking baby.
Yeah.
Because he's such a nihilist, and he's so depressed about it.
And people have, at some point, that kind of waned on our Undertale, at least back when I was still looking at it. Eventually people realized...
I think as soon as people realized that crying Sans was like a common thread, people got a little embarrassed about it.
Oh, that's good.
Because
it's self-awareness.
Yeah, it's the whole, it's like that would be a huge moment. Let's just say hypothetically there was a part in Undertale where Toby decided to actually make that happen. For some reason, there was a lot of build up to it. That would be like a huge payoff. And that'd be like the equivalent of a character death. And in fan art, you can go all the way. You can make the ultimate thing happen. But then everyone will do it, and then everyone gets sick of it.
On the subject of fan art perpetuating itself by its popularity, I'm with you on that. And like for me, even the things that I love, like Undertale is like my favorite game of 2015 and one of my favorite games ever. I did like one fan art of it. And then I wanted to do a second one, but it was turning out bad, so I was like, well, I give up.
What was the one you were doing?
I was going to do Undying. The Undying. That's my favorite.
It's funny. I did exactly one Undertale fan art that was pretty okay, and then I made another one that was deliberately bad looking. And that was
I don't know about you. I make everything I do deliberately bad looking, so I can hide behind that like a coward.
Exactly.
That's
my thoughts
life.
exactly.
That's my life. I actually do take pride in my shitty art. But anyway, go on, Ben.
Anyway, I guess all I'm saying is I don't usually feel the need to do any more than that. But if someone was like, I mean, I did get a bunch of views. I've gotten more comments on my Toriel picture than I have on anything else in my DeviantArt.
Of course.
I've gotten more likes on my Alisa fan art than I have on anything else on Twitter.
Fan art's a good way to get popular.
If those things were like super motivating to me, I would be tempted to do more of them. But I don't know how many more I could do before I started to be like,
yeah. What you got to do is hop from fandom to fandom. Get invested, do your fan art, get that sweet subscriber money.
That's my natural inclination is to find something I like, do like one cool picture of it, and then move on.
Well, good. That should work out then.
So let me explain why the whole fan perpetuation thing is something that I find to be not something that I have to go out of my way to avoid in regards to Undertale. Whereas with My Little Pony, it's not as much of an issue, at least not for nearly as... It takes a lot longer to become an issue. It's that Undertale is one game. In a hypothetical world where Undertale didn't get popular, but I still played it, I would have had a great time. I would have spent, a day looking at fan art. Then I would have forgotten about it, come back to it a year later, and had an amazing time. But if you let yourself get sucked into the big community, you think about it day in, day out, every day, every week, and so then you can't have that cool come back to it in a year experience. You never get to forget about it and get to be rejuvenated.
I don't know. I rewatch Pony episodes sometimes, and I found them
I like
pretty
living
good.
in Undertale hell.
Yeah, well, that's good.
I understand
sequel,
what you mean,
Underhell.
Davu. And I guess I would hypothetically have liked to like forget about Undertale and then play it in a year.
There's still time.
But
It's gonna happen.
But I never actually do that. I never
yeah.
actually go back and reread or replay things, even if I really like them. Which is too bad, and I should probably do that sometimes.
That's a healthy part of the experience, I think.
It's like stuff like My Little Pony is, it's mostly a situational TV show where things happen. There's new episodes coming out. There's a continuity, so it's something that can remain in your subconscious all the time, or it's something that you can always have on the mind. Like, ooh, what's the characters doing this week, right? That kind of sitcom, rom-com, soap opera type stuff. Undertale is a single one. It's a somewhat linear start, begin, end story.
So you have a problem with the fact that people keep bringing it up even though it's done? It's not something that should be? I mean,
Well,
I'm not following.
I think ideally,
Yeah.
in terms of your ability to enjoy the game, it's not something that you think about consciously often for like a whole year.
Yeah.
Now, me avoiding...
Well, it
me
hasn't been a
taking-
year. I think it's calming down.
Well, I'm just saying it's still probably going to be pretty around a year from now because of the fan popularity perpetuation
We'll see.
thing.
Maybe. Anyway.
I'm not really agreeing with that. Personally, though, I like seeing a lot of fan art of Undertale. Like, for me what
too.
I like about Undertale is, like, the characters. And I like seeing people's interpretations of, like, possible dialogues happening between characters, possible outcomes, like, what's going to happen after the end, or what happened before this, or, like, just sort of, like, all these things that are around the characters.
I think
And
things that
I
happen...
love seeing that. I love that seeing
Yeah,
explored.
things that happen after the end of the game, I think, is the perfect place to make fan art of, because like all that is speculation. It's all what makes the game interesting is like, oh man, what's gonna? They have a happy ending, but like, what does that mean? It's fun to think about those things. You're not really supposed to get answers within the work, but everyone's got their own interpretation of what that could be, and there is no answer.
Well,
so it seems logical to to pick however you want.
Say that
Like that
Undertale-
wrestling match, like that wrestling video is the exact thing that I would like to happen after Undertale ends. I forget what it's called, Metaton Entertainment or whatever.
Yeah.
That's good stuff right there. That's good fan work.
I do really like seeing different interpretations of characters sometimes. Like, Undyne the Undying, everyone has, like, a different idea of what she actually looks like, because it's really vague.
Yeah,
Because it's in black and white, and, like, I don't know, like, the hearts, are the hearts red or are they white? Is like, what color is the weird spear beam shooting out of her eye? Like, what color is, and like, what's she doing? I don't know. Everyone's drawing of her looks really different, and some of them I think are amazing, and some of them I think look really stupid.
Sure.
Whatever.
Let me
would
explain
you-
like them.
why I
Yeah,
have
yeah.
this policy for myself is I absolutely know that Undertale is good enough to be a thing that you can dwell on all the time, indefinitely. I just think there are other things to get to.
Nothing's
that
good
also
enough to
deserve-
dwell on indefinitely.
That all, well, until further notice, I guess. But I'm just saying
Fair,
there's
okay.
so many other things that also deserve your time. For the first couple of months, I would have said that Undertale was not overrated. It was correctly rated, and then there's a million other things that are underrated. It's my opinion.
I don't know. Maybe?
I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
I'm not bothered by that. People can make art of whatever they want. I am annoyed, but when communities obsess about things that I'm no longer interested in. But I would never begrudge someone for the art that they're making.
Saturation and burnout are problems, yeah. But
Yeah.
I am often perturbed by the thought that there's probably lots of really great and emotionally affecting media out there that I'll never find.
Sure.
That I haven't found yet, and I never will. And that's very troubling to me. That brings me to another thing about fan art, which is that it kind of brings attention to a thing.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the way that I found out about Homestuck was through, art of the trolls, or not. Actually, it was mostly like screenshots of the trolls that I would see as people's avatars and stuff. But whatever.
And like,
I finally
yeah,
decided to check out My Little Pony because of Rainbow Dash Presents, the biker
Yeah.
gorilla named
or like
episode.
Rainbow
and I
Dash
watched
presents
this.
her pussy to be cummed inside. Am I right? Anyway,
Well,
Yeah.
well, and
I'm talking
a
about.
friend of mine made me watch that, the one with the Rainbow Factory.
maybe made you watch Rainbow Dash get cummed inside. Okay.
Before
Guy,
making me
get the
watch
fuck
an
out of
episode.
here.
Gave you the opportunity
He
to,
said
more
it.
like.
Instead
Yeah.
of making me watch an episode, my friend made me watch the Rainbow Dash Presents the Rainbow Factory thing, and that made me
yes.
more interested in the show.
Is
than
the Rainbow
con-
Factory what she calls her pussy?
than the consecutive episodes that
That's what
I
her
watched
mom's
of My
calls
Little
her
Pony
pussy.
afterwards, because of the fact that it was this 20-minute
Or is
production.
it her butthole?
This
Guys,
20-minute
Why don't I
Yes.
fucking kill you?
fully
Fucking
drawn
shit.
slideshow story about all this meta stuff that I wasn't able to follow, and I was like, man, if it's able to inspire in people this much effort for something they're not going to make any money off of, it must be good. So it
Yeah.
wasn't just advertising; it really sold me
You know
on the
what's interesting
passion
though?
that people had.
Yeah, that Sans Stronger Than You parody has like
love that.
last time I checked over 5 million views, and that's like only one of the variations it's out. I think that's like the animated one. There's no way
There's
5
an
million
entire
people have played
subgenre
Undertale, right?
There's an entire subgenre of Stronger Than You mashup parodies with Undertale specifically.
Yeah, and it's
Whoa.
just like the fan work has eclipsed the game at this point. Clearly, there's no way 5 million people bought that game and played it.
You are probably right.
Yeah, and
A
it's
lot of them could be just rewatches as well.
okay. True, but I doubt even 1 million people played Undertale. Wouldn't that be like
well,
crazy successful?
I mean, Guy.
Yeah.
I will agree with you that there is probably a contingent. I don't know how large.
I'm
but
not
a
complaining, by the way,
contingent
I'm just
of
pointing it out.
people
Yeah.
That do, or at least that do and or enjoy Undertale fan shit and haven't actually played Undertale.
Yeah.
There's probably quite a few. Just like there were people that did Homestuck fan shit and they never
Yeah,
read
yeah.
Homestuck.
True.
I know a
They-
few people.
Those people have a slightly
Yeah.
better excuse though, because it's like,
No, they should be in hell.
well, okay, you can say they're equally bad, sure.
On days like that, Guy, kids like them should be burning in hell. That's what
Yes,
I
I
think.
agree. That's the first good use of that line outside the context of the game I think I've ever heard. So
Nice.
well done, well done.
I
Everyone
did
else
it.
never say it again. It's really annoying. So I mean, we could now shift into we've talked about that for a while. How about we now complain about the other side receiving fan art and how everyone's doing it wrong or not doing it enough?
Let me tell you, assholes.
Yeah.
And I think Mage can relate to this.
Mm-hmm.
A story. I like doing fan art and giving it to people. I have given a couple of favorite artists of mine on Twitter some fan art.
Oh, yes.
And I have gotten like retweeted from them and like, they've said they liked it and stuff, which was very nice.
Did the Lisa guy retweet your thing?
Yes, the guy who made Lisa retweeted my picture.
Who, by the way,
and
is a
well, he
Nordic god. He's the most beautiful man in the world.
and a karate master.
That's right.
But yeah, he retweeted it, and as well he should, because that piece was fucking awesome, and it got like 50 likes because I'm a
Nice.
genius. And then I got one from Abby Howard because I did one of her characters, and I did one from Katie Rice. I drew her characters, and that was
Camp
kinda
We Don't
cool.
Want You.
Camp We Don't Want You, yeah, from Katie, and it's nice because being an artist myself, I know that fan art of my own characters is the most precious thing.
Yeah.
It's the most valuable commodity other than money, and it's even pretty close to that. Because like that's how you know a thing is popular, right? Because you see fan art of it.
It
So if
inspires people, yeah.
So if fan art of your stuff exists and is being made, you need to fucking foster that. You need to try and kindle that, because that's one of the ways by which you propagate. So yes, I made some and gave it to people because I knew they would like it, because I would like it.
Yeah.
And it was true.
Remember a time way back in the day, Ben, when we did our, I don't know, 4th or 5th episode of TBAP, and we got our first ever piece of fan art that I put
And
into
then
that big intro celebrating it. That was a great, a more innocent time.
That was a great day.
It was a great day. And then Gibbon, of course, put us into a video, I think, shortly after that, which was, that was probably a while later. Man, it feels good to be a YouTube gangster. Anyway, Davu, what were you saying?
I think that if the apocalypse happens, if the apocalypse happens, what if fan art's like the most valued commodity? You can draw
Like bottle caps in Fallout or something?
Devu.
Yeah.
Devu, have you played Lisa?
Is that what happens in Lisa?
That happens in Lisa.
What?
There's because it's the post-apocalypse and all the women are dead, so
Yeah.
porn becomes the most precious commodity. Like porn is money in Lisa.
Whoa, that's awesome.
Yeah,
pretty
your
close.
your money is mags, as in nudie magazines, and you have to trade for them. Yeah, but like one of your
Cool.
party members is this. He's an artist, and just like he like draws porn, and that's
Oh,
how.
man,
And
he
I
draws
guess
money.
he's like
It
making a good
prints
living.
money.
Yeah, he prints money.
Awesome.
But he's actually a really shitty party member, and his design is really shitty and Mary Sue-ish.
Well,
because he was a fan. He was like a Kickstarter reward.
Oh, really? Okay. Well, that's
That's
too
a
bad.
whole other subject we should probably get into.
But anyway, yeah,
What's that?
we could do that.
What's that, Devu?
Specifically in the context of Kickstarter rewards, but the artist putting a fan-made thing into the real thing.
Okay, man,
A la
I was
the-
watching this one
Muffet.
Undertale video. Wait, Muffet's great. Wait, are you saying Muffet was introduced
Yep.
outside by a? Well, she's the objectively best character in the
Wait.
series, so obviously that redeems the whole thing.
Right.
Thank
Guys,
you.
shut up.
What?
Everyone, explain what you mean. Why? What do you mean about Muffet?
Well, she was a Kickstarter thing, right? It was like there'll be
Yeah.
one Kickstarter character made by a fan who can design her or it.
2
and
or
so
3.
What?
No.
What a great.
That was So Sorry.
And
And it-
there was So Sorry, then what's his face in the
Oh,
flying
yeah.
thing, and Muffet was
the
the
flying
host
thing. Are
here.
you talking about
Oh,
Cinder
yeah.
Plane?
No,
What flying thing?
the other one, I forgot its name. He's just
Is he a
he's-
boss?
No, like he's kind of hard to find, sort of like
Is he a
he's-
whale?
Yeah, he's kind of like a flying whale thing, and he's like
I see.
What? I
like
don't.
he's pretending to be cool or whatever. I don't remember. Like Glide, I think.
Jeez,
yeah,
I never
he-
found this guy.
Yeah, he's.
I've seen pictures of him.
He's encountered before Papyrus's battle in that area where
zone.
with a locked door.
Yeah. If you run
Yeah.
around for a million years, you'll fight him, which is what happened to me because I was trying to open that door.
Yeah, and he's really hard as well.
Holy
Right.
shit! I've never seen this guy. I just looked him up. What the
Okay,
fuck?
so Glide,
Are
So
you-
Sorry, and Muffet are rewards. And Muffet, I know for sure that she was definitely a reward because she was designed by the artist who is making a comic called Ava's Demon. I'm a fan of that comic as well. She's a brilliant artist. Like, her art is just
Right.
wow.
And how Toby utilized
mind
the
blow.
Muffet's design was pretty great because
Yeah, with the
he-
whole spiders thing. It was
yeah,
great.
with the whole he created this whole subculture
That-
within the world, which
Well,
made it
well,
feel
well, hang
so
on,
much
hang on,
more
hang on.
realistic, man.
That really makes me wonder whether she was designed before the demo, because even in the demo there were the spiders in the bake sale.
Right.
I see. So maybe she was trying to extrapolate off of that. She was like, "Ooh, I'll make a spider," and then Toby realized, "Ooh, I can have a payoff to this whole spider situation."
yeah.
Maybe they work together.
I
That was
mean,
genius.
man, like I always thought it was kind of funny that Muffet really kind of comes out of nowhere. She's in the middle of Hotland, like right in between like the Metaton sections, and she's only there for like a brief time, and that's like one of my favorite parts in the whole game. But man, like all the work he put into that, Jesus Christ, did this person pay for like a boss fight and a character, like and ties to the story? Jesus, that's a lot of shit. And anyway,
Well,
it
I mean,
doesn't
So
matter.
Sorry has a boss fight.
Right, and his own little area, and his own little like, I don't know, coded into the game.
But he's like hidden away.
yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas
So
Muffet is a
Glide.
main character almost.
Man, I'll have to go fight this Glide guy. It's awesome. So of those, Glide looks cool. Muffet is the best character, and So Sorry is the worst thing that's ever happened.
Oh,
so,
eat shit, guys. So Sorry's fine. He's fine.
I mean, he's like the butter dragon. You ever go look
yeah.
at this
So
guy's
fucking
art?
what? So he's ugly
He's
and
a
whatever.
nightmare. He's a
one of-
nightmare.
he looks like a rejected Barney character.
He's a fucking comedy character. You piece of shit.
Well,
Design-wise-
He looks like a
I'm
piece of
laughing.
shit.
guys, design aside, I actually found his battles sort of annoying, like his personality or attitude or whatever you call it.
I mean, yeah,
it's a little
yeah.
annoying. Just
Yeah,
like,
I mean, he's a
Look
dick.
at him
Whatever.
putting his
I
fingers
liked him.
together like a fucking chud.
I'm not even. I agree with you, Ben. Like, I think he's a good addition to the game. I thought he was funny, and I enjoyed,
Okay.
treating him like the garbage that he is. And I
Yeah, he-
absolutely love that you can murder him, and Sans says you didn't kill anyone important, and
That's
you can
not
still
true.
get true pacifist.
That's not true.
What?
That's not true.
Yes, it is. I tested
That's
it.
not true.
I think.
No, you didn't.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you. How do you know?
Okay, well, I've just I just
You've
was
heard it?
reading on Reddit. Someone tested it and said it wasn't true.
I'm
and
gonna
I
go
believe
look
it, 'cause
this
that
up.
would be really stupid if that was true.
No, it'd be hilarious, and I would love it. It would
Okay,
really.
Nate, there's more homework for you for Undertale. Find Glide and then test this thing.
I
Right, so
will.
in general,
No, not Glide, so
Toby's
sorry.
done a good job handling fan stuff by like sanctioning official albums like Live at Grilby's and that other metal one. You know,
Yeah, that's cool.
He's-
If he
he's
can like
handled this
review it
very
and be
well.
like,
That's what I would do if I had created a thing that had like a huge fandom around it and a lot of like, fan theories and fan canons. I would just go around with my canon stamp and I would find the things I like and go, yeah, that's canon. that's canon.
that's the
that's
way to
not
do it.
canon.
that
That
would
sucks.
be
That's
That's,
canon.
bananas if that happened to you, Jesse. If you were in that position.
well, no one's
that's
in a
my
position to
dream.
do that to Jesse. Shit.
Okay, listen. That is the game Space Funeral by the Catamites. That guy actually kind of did that, but it's hard to take seriously because someone made a Space Funeral 2, and it wasn't that great, but I mean, it was a thing. And in an interview, someone asked him like, "Do you know about Space Funeral 2?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, sure. It was all right. It's canon."
Ah,
and,
Jesus.
What a hero.
and so now it's technically canon because he said so one time.
Yeah, it's like what with the DBZ guy, Akira Toriyama. It's like what he's doing with DBZ now. Like for a while, he was just like, yeah, all these things are canon, and like what he's doing now with Dragon Ball Super, or whatever. He made like the strongest person in the universe, like this weird little dude with like these giant nipples. He is like canonically the strongest man in I think every universe that exists. And it's like, how seriously are we going to take what
And
Akira
this
Toriyama
brings
has
up
said at this
another-
point? It's been
another
like 30 years.
another
Is he
canon.
Still, yeah.
Another canon that's very big, very pervasive. Pachelbel's canon in D. That's in all these different songs.
It's true.
And
Yeah,
that guy
that
does
shit's
I gotta
canon.
say, the
about
fandom
it.
around that is really out of control, and it's time for a change.
Yeah. God, we've just been rehashing it and rehashing it since like 1640 whatever.
Should we get back to the topic of receiving fan art?
Yes, please.
Yeah, sure,
We
whatever.
went way off for a minute there.
That's fine.
Mage, you've gotten fan art, right?
11 pages on DeviantArt, yes.
Pretty
Of your
good.
In my-
characters.
Yeah, in my favorites folder.
What do you think make?
Huh?
I was gonna say what makes good fan art to you to receive versus bad.
I appreciate all fan art, honestly. Like,
Okay.
whatever the quality you might think it is.
It's okay, mate. You can
people-
tell them their shit. No,
No,
they'll.
people take time out of their day to draw something specifically for me, so I'm gonna take time out of my day to favorite and leave a comment whenever I
Mage,
can.
you're a big person. They're little people. They don't matter.
No, that's not nice.
Okay. Well, I will say one thing. Yeah, I mean, I agree that I appreciate all fan art because it is a person taking time to, show appreciation for what you do, and that's great. But I don't care for the ones that are just trying to look like the original.
Dude,
That
the
almost-
T-Bap fan art that tried to copy your style.
A lot of the T-Bap
nightmare.
fan art looked almost as though it was traced like right off the screen, and it's like, yeah, okay, thanks for the fan art, but you haven't really added anything or given like your own interpretation of it.
That's true, yeah.
Even if you can't draw at all, I would still rather see you just like try to draw fucking my characters or whatever, just however you would draw them.
Like,
Just how
why
you
did it
see
take?
them.
Why did it
Yeah,
take
no.
like 3 years for someone to like draw? Like, someone made a keg standard, like normal like he looked like he was in the show, and I still haven't seen a Phantom Horn one anywhere. Like, if it was me, I'd think that'd be like the first thing that I'd want to do. Like, he's a pony man. He's in the whatever. Just draw him that way, It's like, why is everybody drawing him? They always draw us in groups, like with our beady little eyes next to all the other ponies with like their big full. I hate that. It makes me so mad. We're just ponies.
I agree. I agree. If you're gonna draw ponies with big sparkly pony eyes, just give them all fucking big sparkly pony eyes. If you want to draw them with tiny little gross beady T-Bap eyes, give everyone.
you know
that
who I
kind.
blame for this
just
problem?
just draw all eyes the way you draw.
I
eyes,
blame
the way
Dr.
you
Wolf
wanna
for
do
this
it.
problem because he's got his bizarre, weird OC that doesn't even make sense, and everyone's like, "Oh, we have to just use the style of the art and put
Dr.
it
Wolf
in there."
can go to hell and don't ever mention his name. Don't ever
guy.
fucking say that name or any name. Don't ever say any name
Okay.
in my presence again.
Okay.
Okay, coming back to what Ben originally said.
Yes.
About, tracing art and trying to make it look like original. Yeah, I agree with you. I have seen people just sort of like, or take my original images and just sort of like doodle on them or add some text or whatever, make them into like a collage or something.
Yeah.
It's not, I mean, okay, you wanted to do something and you're very good at art, and okay, I appreciate the effort, but at the same time, I prefer whatever you can doodle up to you copy pasting my work.
It's kind of like the illustration equivalent of like a knockoff YouTuber, like the Angry Video Game Nerd knockoffs.
Being like
Because
the raging, I don't know, whatever.
Because I've seen guys on YouTube, a couple guys actually, who, you know, are like openly, proudly inspired by me, and I watch their videos, but it's like at the point where they're just like stealing my jokes verbatim.
Yeah,
and it's like
I saw that one guy you showed me.
And it's
that
like,
was just,
okay,
it was just your video.
It's cool that you're inspired by me, but this is literally a worse version of my video.
Yeah,
I'll kill you.
Inspiration and stealing work is two different things.
Hey,
I mean, if it's for fan art, then I would never call it stealing, no matter how boldly they've just fucking plagiarized you.
You mentioned
it's fine.
James Rolfe. You mentioned the Angry Nerd, and that reminded me back when I was first getting into the nerd way back then, and I looked at the fan art. What bothered me is that almost none of the fan art looked like his face. Almost none of the eyes or the noses or the mouths really looked like an abstraction of what James Rolfe had. And so there was a guy who did, you know, as we mentioned, fan art of all of us, and, you know, it was cool looking, but almost none of it really like captured our facial features all that much.
I'm not interested in that. I'm not interested in picture perfect or even close to realistic.
I think when it's a real life person and you're going for a somewhat, depending on how realistic.
Dude, look at your icon right now. I'm looking at it right now, and it doesn't look anything like you, and I appreciate it.
I agree. I'm not saying this is like a required thing. I just wish it would happen sometimes. Or let me put it this way: if you're gonna make like a more abstract card, if the guy who did my icon were to draw all of us, I would say optimally, all of those little squiggly details he has will be some sort of representation of our facial features, you know?
I guess.
If you know what I'm saying.
Look at Mage. Mage doesn't look like her thing. She's got like an established character now that like is her face, and it's, you know.
Yes, it's me. That's draw me as a purple anime girl, nothing else.
Yeah, and you know, this reminds me real quick. Speaking of fan art and the Angry Video Game Nerd, did you guys ever see that? I forget what anime it was, but like in a real anime, some background extras were the Video Game Nerd and the Nostalgia Critic were in an anime, like in some big show. They were actually
acting in the
drawn in some show.
And in James Rolfe,
some Jap was like
made a fan recreation of that. They did a fan recreation of that by
I saw that.
restaging it. So.
Which is just like what we did when, or some of us here, when someone did that fan art of Give and Take, Never Give Up, and we recreated that at BronyCon last year. Which was
Never Give Up.
Never Give Up. That's right. That's right.
Good times.
The best.
Okay, those fan arts someone did of the Pro Crastinators.
Yeah.
Mine looked like absolute ass, and I hated it.
Sure.
My face was the most like, it was totally like warped and disgusting. Get it together, whoever you are.
Oh,
let's talk about crappy fan art of us and how much it angers me.
Right?
No, I was wearing glasses and I had a little heart tattoo on my neck, which was cool. That was cool.
Link me after the podcast. I don't think
you can find it on the Procrastinators podcast, the Reddit, the subreddit.
We'll show you.
Reddit.
We'll show you.
You can go there, goddammit. Click in the link in the description.
Shut up, guy,
okay, all right.
For fuck's sake. All right. Jesse, let's talk about fan art.
I love getting fan art of all kinds. I think it's the best thing. It's the thing from the fans that I respect the most. I respect it infinitely more than some shitty, worthless, pissant YouTube comment that took you half a second to fucking crap out of your shitty brain.
Of course.
Yeah.
If someone actually takes the time to draw something or make something, that makes me feel good. And a lot of it's really good. But what I don't like is the ones... The guys who like make it crappy on purpose, just to be like, "Hey, I drew you crappy fan art." That's not
Jesse,
fun for anyone.
You're one to fucking talk. Look at your fucking YouTube thumbnails.
What are you talking about?
Look at your fucking Horsecast YouTube thumbnails. That's the very definition of crappy on purpose.
Whoa! My MS Paint thumbnail drawings are goddamn masterpieces. They're 10 out of 10s. How dare you insinuate that they're anything less than perfect, that they're flawed in any way?
Well,
they capture our spirit. They capture our essence.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I think they're just trying to go for... I think maybe they're just trying to go for that same sort of appeal, you know?
No, I can guarantee you that I am legitimately putting my all and giving the maximum amount of effort when I draw those.
If it's all the same to the person seeing it on the other end, whether you put your all or not, right?
Yeah, it's great.
And,
it's 10 out of 10.
and you, Guy, let's not even talk about your art.
I'm proud to be the worst artist that I know. I wear it as on my sleeve as armor so that it can never be used to hurt me.
Yeah, that's right. You piece of shit.
Yeah.
Just depends on if the context is good.
And I have no interest in getting any better ever. Now that I've discovered that I can pay people to draw things for me, I have no incentive to get better. It's the best possible timeline.
Yeah.
Well, there's a chink in my armor because Ben has hurt me.
Let's talk about commissions.
Yes.
I've named
Oh, yes. Podcast successful.
If I get into being a person with a lot of money, I would just be commissioning people to make fan stuff that I want to see all the time.
No, dude.
Yeah?
No, dude. Listen. I could never pay someone to do art for me because it wouldn't look the way it did in my head.
Sure. Well,
I have to do it my way.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah, well, I
do
can't
agree.
do drawing, so
Wait,
I can compromise
Mage, you do
on
agree
this.
with me or you don't?
I agree with you. Like, I cannot, like, pay people to do, like, commissions for, like I cannot commission people to do art for me because, like, for me, I have this horrible thing about, like, if it can be drawn, I might as well draw it myself.
Well, of course,
Yes.
you guys
Well,
can
yeah,
draw.
you guys
shouldn't
have that
compromise
ability.
on that.
No,
You
shut
know?
up, Devu. I'm going to kill you for saying that, and here's why. Because all of my drawings look like shit when I start them, and I just fucking keep changing them until they look good. So all anyone in the whole world has to do is just draw a shitty drawing, and then just keep redoing it until it looks
okay,
good.
all right,
That's all I do. That's all anyone could do it
I'm
themselves.
sick and tired of this professional illustrator elitism, fucking looking down on people, this pompous attitude of, oh, shut up, you can learn to draw, anyone can learn to draw. Fuck you! I've tried,
Yeah.
motherfucker! I can't! It's
I'm with you.
impossible!
Ben is
Guys.
absolutely right.
Quit condescending to me!
Anyone can learn to draw.
Guys.
You can do it. The thing is, I don't want to take 5 years to learn how to draw
Yeah.
because I need a picture for my video
Yeah,
next week.
here's the
so,
thing.
You know,
Yeah, Ben, I totally,
No, you
I
just-
totally agree.
what?
Like,
I don't have time
can,
for that shit. I could just pay someone.
You just redo it over and over again, and eventually it
Nate,
becomes
I
good.
do
Ben.
not have the technical know-how.
Ben,
Mage.
listen, I can do that, but it will take me 10 times as long as it will take
Yeah.
you.
And you'll be glad.
I
And you'll
will
be
not
glad
be
for the
glad.
experience.
No, I'd be glad to pay money to save myself the time so I can be working on my video
That's-
and editing
Guys,
it instead of
guys.
that.
Mage,
Society
what?
needs to
Mage.
do the
What?
things that you are better
Guys.
at and pay people
Devous.
to do what
All right,
they're
dude,
better
enough,
at.
enough. What, Mage? What?
Okay, paying for commissions is fine. Like, guys, I am gonna open commissions soon, so yes, please do pay me for commissions.
Everybody
Oh,
pay
shit.
for
Oh,
commissions,
shit.
She's got
everybody.
skin in the
I
game,
forgot.
baby. She's got skin
The
in the
most
game.
important thing.
I'm
But-
gonna do that too. So forget everything I just said.
but the thing is, like, the people, like, you can learn how to draw. Like, there's a certain amount of hours you have to have been drawing in your life.
Jesse's
I think
triggered.
there's some sort of rule somewhere
Stop
that
it!
says, like, oh, if you had drawn this many thousand hours in your life, then you
Stop
should be okay at art or
implying
something.
that I
Guess
should
what?
put
We only
effort
have
into
so many
something new.
We only have
Yeah,
so many hours in our life before we potentially die.
That-
we have to
that's-
choose what
that's
to
true.
go for.
I
No.
understand. Just like, so, like, you know,
And you-
it's never too late to learn to draw, but like you have to.
But
like,
No,
It is
that's
too
right.
late
If
to
you're
care.
if you're a high school kid and you just
I
you're
don't-
not doing anything in particularly important with your life and you want to learn to draw, then you should absolutely do it. But
Like, you
me
can
and
grow
Devu are
all
video
your own-
creators first and foremost, and that's what we focus our time on, and that's what we have interest in perfecting. Like I was a terrible video editor 3 years ago when I started, but I've just done it for millions of hours now, and I'm decent. I'm okay.
Right,
So
but-
I assume it's the same with art.
The whole
Yeah, and
point
how-
of
and how-
society
and how-
is
and
that
how
you
all
pay.
you genius illustrators are with your art. How you said that you, I'm saying it with such scorn. You genius illustrators. How you
Yes.
said that like you can't commission someone to draw something. That's how I am with editing. I can't commission someone to edit. For
That's
me
exactly
because
right. It's exactly
Right.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My
I'll
videos
commission-
could never
I'll
be made.
commission a guy to draw for me any day
By
because
anyone else.
fucking make it look pretty. Make me look pretty.
The
Yeah,
whole point
like-
of paying people
Down
money
me
for
up.
anything ever is that they can do it better than you can. You could grow and cultivate all your own food, but it's a lot easier to just pay for it to be off a
Right.
shelf.
Specialization
I
is the
can
nature of
res-
capitalism, right?
I can respect that. But whatever.
Like if you were making like if you were the angry video game nerd and you had like 1 million subscribers and you're like, okay, time to make a new video. I'm gonna do every single piece of it. It's not feasible. It's not smart. You gotta break that shit up.
I feel like I had something else to say on the subject of, I don't know, drawing or commissioning or fan art or whatever it is we're talking about here on the Pro Crastinators Podcast.
Every weekend or so. Yeah, I don't know. But really, honestly, the worst sin a fan artist at all can commit is not drawing best guy ever fan art. Get out there, people. Get out there on your tablets, on your gay little notebooks. Do whatever you got to do to draw fan art of me and my cool waifus all having a great time.
Oh.
Because if you don't make it real, it will never be real. So live your
here's-
dreams and live my dreams.
Okay, while I can respect the attitude of like, oh, it's easier to just pay someone to draw it. I can understand that, and that attitude is what keeps me alive and in business, kind of. So that's fine. But on the other hand, I kind of hate that attitude because I really like it when people that don't know how to draw and are bad at drawing, nevertheless, like put forth a sincere effort and produce an image that just to get across their idea. Like, I think, like, I was reading this comic the other day called Scuzzy, and it was about, like, some kids that wake up as zombies. And it sounds stupid, right? But it's drawn in this really, like, childlike way. Everything's all, like, real simple, like, blocky shapes, and, like, everything's all colored in, like, flat colors. Like, the characters are just purple, and their teacher's just yellow. Yeah?
Have you all seen the original One Punch Man webcomic?
Yes!
Ah, that's a good example, I guess, of what you're saying.
Yes, I
Yeah, it's
have.
got really, really basic, shitty art.
Yeah,
It's
so
really
look
rough.
into that. Like, so
And even Attack on Titan at the beginning kind of is shitty. I mean,
It still is
it's
shitty.
too
I
shitty
mean,
to
not
be
as shitty as it
publicized
used to
as it
be.
was. I don't know how it got through their approval process, but it
Okay.
did somehow, and it was
Okay,
popular.
okay. Forget about the actual Attack on Titan manga.
Yeah.
If you ever saw like the manga that he did before Attack on Titan that he submitted to some
Yeah.
like shitty little rinky-dink contest, it is so bad. Every bit of that like proto Attack on Titan manga is worse than the worst panel of the original One Punch manga.
And there's some
webcomic.
pretty bad ones.
It is like fucking a child's scribblings.
How the fuck did he win?
I don't know if he won.
Oh, I like that he
might-
just
or
lost.
maybe it was just a really bad contest. I don't know.
Well, that's
maybe
fascinating.
they like the idea and the story, not just the art.
Okay, but you're making
Yeah,
a
that's
comic
true.
for Christ's sake. You're not making a
Although-
book.
Although the story was way more basic than Attack on Titan, it's just like a guy comes to town and there's like a monster. He's like, it was a genetically engineered monster. Luckily, I too am a genetically engineered monster. And he gets big and
Hooray.
then fights it, and then that's it. That's the whole story.
I don't understand this current trend of really shitty comics becoming popular. One Punch Man is legitimately great
They're
and deserves
not
it.
shitty just because they have rough art.
Well, yes,
I really
they are.
like Scuzzy. I really like the original One Punch Man. I really like just fucking garbage made by assholes.
But when you compare
It's my
that to
favorite.
like the new version of One Punch Man, it's pretty much better in every way.
I don't care. I like the original. Remakes should all burn.
I agree.
I've been watching the show, and I keep thinking the whole part of the integral to the joke, to the reason it's funny and amusing, is that it looks amazing, but it's silly what's happening, but it looks amazing. Similarly,
That
to
is true. That is a
Weird
unique
Al,
joke.
How Weird Al, his entire comedy requires his incredible production value. Because
That's true.
Because it becomes as valid as the original song that was made, if not even better produced as it is sometimes. That is integral to why it's funny.
You know, my favorite image that proves that
Yeah.
point, I think, is when you see King. Like, there's a couple panels that are these massive close-ups of King's face, and King's whole deal is that he has just intimidated people with his scary face, and everyone thinks that he's super strong. And, you know, as it turns out, that's not the case. And, like, the super good, detailed, like, intimidating glare that he's giving you, like... That is what, like, the people in the story are experiencing, and with shitty art, that would not be conveyed anywhere nearly as well, and makes the joke so much funnier when you find out, it's fucking not true. It's fucking baloney.
Yeah.
So that's
guess.
a unique thing to the enhanced version.
I just really want to reiterate that I think that people that can't draw at all. Honestly, sometimes I think that makes their art more interesting if they put forth like a sincere effort.
Well, says
like,
the guy who poo-pooed on my MS Paint drawings.
No,
Now
I was just about
see
to
your
say.
true hypocritical colors.
Where's
I
hypocrite?
was just about to say that if someone like I mean, I would say like Devu, you have like you're not a great artist or anything, but you do have like a very like kind of unique aesthetic in everything that you do draw. And the same is kind of true of Digi. Digi has this weird like scratchy like kind of like bug-eyed style that he does.
Yeah.
And I would really like to see more art by people like that.
Yeah, like my art, I do make sure because I always draw something for the purpose of something else. It needs to like convey something visually, or I'm making it for a thumbnail. So I always have a clear idea, and I'm usually able to square it in on at least accomplishing the goal that it was intended for, even if it otherwise
but
sucks.
what about
like you drew that little face with just like this gross little thumbs up, just kind of sticking out of the side, like
and then you did
like
that really
that's
cool
weird.
Version of
That's
it where
not
it was
something
my
most-
face that had that, which I liked.
I did. I
almost made
interpreted
that my
into
thumbnail.
a new.
And I love how polarizing it was. Like, people either thought that was amazing or horrifying, and they never wanted to see it.
I know you were torn up about whether to use it or not.
Yeah, until eventually someone came around with one that I thought was basically perfect, which is what I'm using now.
So Ben, are you saying
I
that
do like
guys
this.
like me and Jesse on further down on the artistically competent spectrum, if you will, are
On the
shittiness
artism
of
spectrum.
art? Yeah, that's right. Our shitty art has value because it's shitty. It's a artistic representation of
like
ourselves.
Someone just drawing like what's in their mind, even if they have like without any technique at all, can sometimes convey something that you wouldn't get from like a very practiced and like skilled
Like
artist.
on this very podcast, on the Steven Universe episode 3, I think, my Mexican cherry opal, I think was his name.
Mexican cherry opal.
That's true. He was a masterpiece. That's no doubt. That's
And
no doubt.
Exactly.
talking about Digi, because way back in some of his earliest pony videos, he drew this character, this really weird looking, terribly drawn
yes.
character.
The gray thing with the white hair.
Yeah, and then recently, in one of his asterisk videos, he makes a reference.
I saw you put it in there.
He makes a reference.
when he said who am I to complain about character design?
Yeah, what
or
would I
something
know
like
about
that.
character design? And I decided to like draw a fan art of that character that would be making a specific pose that would fit. And so in the process of drawing that, I realized, whoa, this is actually an interesting design. It's just terribly drawn, but it's a kind of interesting character that I've never seen before, especially the color palette. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
When he does draw things, they end up looking really weird, but in a way that I kind of
Yeah, like when we did the comic jam, I remember thinking Digi's
Same for
art
you,
was
Debu.
very interesting. It was one of the most interesting. Along with like
there's one of like just like a close up picture of a pony like screaming.
yeah, that's right.
And it's really spooky looking.
I think Digi
That's
in general
true.
is a guy who's able to really, really, really think about what he likes aesthetically. Like, he has very specific and detailed ideas of what looks good.
Yeah.
But not a whole lot of skill in explaining it all the time, and obviously almost no skill in recreating it. So
See,
it
that's
creates
my
an interesting-
problem. I'm a shitty artist because I can't visualize what I want something to be and then convey it in my pen. And a lot of the times I'll have ideas of what I want to do, and it won't come out. It will not come out anywhere close to how I'm envisioning it. What can you do about that? What can be done?
Because when I was drawing that fan art of that character of his, I was really looking at it more closely, and I was imitating some of the crappy drawing, like inking methods that he was using, where he would draw some of the hair and then use the erase tool to make different threads of the hair. And I was like, whoa. So
That's a
his
thing.
lack of skill created like a unique look.
That's kind of how I did the hair on my latest picture on my Twitter at It's Also Ugly. Everyone go follow me.
Well, I mean, like,
Yeah,
it
I
was
like-
he would use a pretty thick erase tool. But,
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, the lack of skill can create a unique aesthetic.
So
But
what
of
you're
course-
advocating
yeah.
here, Ben, is to not assume that even if you are the shittiest artist in the world, don't assume that you don't have any ability to produce your own work. You gotta take it. Sometimes you just gotta do it and see how it comes out, because even your shittiness can give it its own personality.
Well, clearly with One Punch Man, that was great because he was able to make it to prove that it was worth existing, and then
Yeah.
was able to get it drawn well.
I'll give you that. However, I gotta say that guys in the position, for example, of me and Devu, who are focused on other things and are just trying to manage their time to get shit done. For example, right now in this very moment, I'm commissioning a guy to make this pixel art thing for me. And I don't know fucking shit about making pixel art. What am I going to do? Going to learn how to do pixel art? He's talking about all these mathematical equations that he's applying to like animate pixels moving and stuff to replicate like different effects in the sky and stuff. Like, am I going to learn all that shit? No, of course not. That's why I'm commissioning a guy, and it's the same thing with whatever.
Yeah, just work smart. Like I made an RPG once, and I'm not a very good pixel artist, but I did most of it myself because I had to, and that I had to so that I could make a game. And even Toby Fox is not a very good artist.
That's true. Look at the beginning. Look at Frisk, who looks like shit, and then the whole beginning area, the ruins, looks like garbage compared to the rest of the game, which looks much better.
Right.
The guy who made Lisa is not a great artist, but he and his figures look really weird. But in that kind of like strangely comedic game, it works really well.
They give personality, and he's not a great artist. It's true.
That's the lesson.
You made a fair point there, Ben.
Is work smart, because like Trey Parker, Matt Stone, they made the South Park characters, even though they can't do good art. And those designs,
they're iconic now.
They're iconic.
They were in fucking Fooly Cooley. That makes them cool.
And Yahtzee making the zero punctuation art style. He hasn't ever had to update that, and he can't really do art otherwise. And again, it's working smart. It's knowing your limitations down to the wire.
Yes, working around your own limitations.
Right.
Yes.
And that's where art comes from.
And it is related to fan art to bring it home. That's true. Anyone can do fan art. Doesn't matter about your level of skill, but get creative. Do what you have an idea, have a vision.
Get creative and put forth a sincere effort, and your vision will shine through your lack of skill.
I absolutely love our shitty first ever T-Bap fan art. It felt like there was heart. It was all fucked up, and I loved it.
Yes, it was drawn in their own style. It wasn't just like traced from our thumbnail. It was its own thing.
And I'd like everyone to do likewise.
Yes.
All right. Anybody got any last words to say? I'm gonna throw in another, one of those. Jesse,
I should have killed myself years ago.
Yeah, because of your lack of art skills.
Yes.
Yeah. Would have been better.
I think we got a lot done today, everyone. I think we've really made progress.
I think we've all come to understand things a little bit better.
Yeah.
Well, good. Okay.
Everybody draw fan art of us.
apologize.
Mostly me, and also these guys too. Everybody should do it more.
Go to the subreddit. There's a link in the description. Go to the subreddit. Give us PCP fan art. At the very least of the 5 of us who are here today, I demand it of you.
I want fan art. I want fan fiction. I want fan games.
Make a response video, whatever you got to do.
And by the way, if you make a fan game, make it something other than an 8-bit platformer. That's a rule.
But I like those, so you can do it. Don't listen to
I like 8-bit
any game starring
platformers.
me is a fucking
cool.
10 out of 10 game.
Which Jesse has had 2 games made about him at this point, by the way. 2.
Wait, 2?
Yeah.
2? Other than Quest for Donut?
Yeah, somebody made a game where I'm beating up the CinemaSins guys, I think.
Yeah.
Me. I made that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Who made that? Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I still haven't seen that one.
Yeah,
it's sort of like a really stupid Atari 2600 game in terms of depth, but I like it.
I wanted you to make like more of those,
of
me beating up different YouTubers with different settings, different views, and I wanted to compile them into like a Mega Man where you pick the stage and stuff.
Oh, that's a cool idea.
I'd commission that from Devu. That's worthy.
Because you wanted me to do a Final Fantasy VII edition where you can beat up everyone who thinks Final Fantasy VII is overrated.
What a great idea. Dude, commission that for when the remake comes out and have that at the beginning of the video or something. That'd be great. Okay, good thoughts. All right, let's end it right here, everybody. Thanks for watching, folks. We'll be back next week talking about something else. Leave whatever if you got suggestions, leave in the description.
Yeah.
We've actually done many of the suggestions people have left. They've been better than stuff we could fucking think of. So shoot that shit in that box. Give us a like and wear your
right
socks.
into my rainbow factory.
Yes. All right, everybody.
Disgusting.
Say goodbye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Yeah.
We did it.
We did it. We're all done.
Whew.